What is up, y'all? It's me again, Kariz. Yay! And as you saw in the title, it's finally here, y'all. This is why I didn't upload yesterday, or well, I'm starting to make this video today on the day that I don't upload. So for me today. But anyway, enough wasting your time. There's the PvP tutorial. I keep flying. There's a PvP tutorial, the ultimate PvP guide to help you with MCBE PvP. This includes stuff like your CPS, your aim, your jump resetting, hit selecting, canceling people's momentum with blocks to start a combo, using projectiles to start a combo, resource packs that you can use to help you how to run from a fight in general, which includes using blocks, and the best settings for MCBE PvP. So yeah. This is my first time doing a video that's like this, so it may be kind of bad, as in the quality of the video and how the video runs, like as in the satisfaction of the video, but I do promise all the knowledge you need is in this video. So please stick around if you want to get better at PvP, and who knows, you might hear something that you've never heard before. And before I forget, y'all, well, I kind of forgot one of you. Just kidding, shout out to It's Blitz Gaming. 6317. Yay! But shout out to Zeus _Crystal, because he kindly asked for a shout out. That's all you have to do, kindly ask. Now, obviously, once I get bigger and I get like 50 people asking me to shout them out, I can't do all of y'all. So don't expect in the future for me to shout out everybody that asked. But as of right now, I'm a small YouTuber, so I can't do that. So yeah, let's get right into it. I want to set a like goal like I did in the last video. How about this? 70 likes. I'll give y'all a more realistic like goal. 70 likes or 75 likes, and I will do whichever. I will go more in depth. Like, let me know. I will go more in depth on either PvP based on Sky Wars or PvP based on Treasure Wars. If this video gets 75 likes, I will do whichever is most preferred from y'all, like a general census. Alright? And you may be saying, why should we listen to a guy like you, Kariz? You only have 459 subs as of this video. Fun fact, I actually gained those 59 subs in like one day, which is insane. Thank y'all so much. I don't know how that happened, but thank y'all so much. But basically, okay. Yeah, I like to think I'm somewhat good at the game, you know? I've beat Defect YT in boxing and in Fireball Fight, which honestly wasn't really a win because he kind of just fell off. But I've also killed and have been killed by the likes of Evident P, Rubixel, a lot of helpers and mods like Zeka mods and helpers on the Hive. Who else? Fresh the Pig, or now he's known as like Fenlo or something. So yeah, I'd like to think that I'm pretty good at the game, at least decent at the game, if I can kill people like that. And they have killed me before. I'm not saying I completely destroyed them. They have killed me before too. But I mean, yeah, I'd like to think I'm decent at the game. So yeah, that's probably why you should listen to me. But of course, the most fundamental part of PvP is your foundation, your settings. If you don't have these right, then can't really do anything. Alright, y'all, so basically within your settings, we'll start with video. You want to have your brightness. Well, brightness is optional. I'll keep this short and simple. I'll do the things that are actually important. Turn off screen animations, because it will make your, like, let's say you're playing Treasure Wars or something where you have to pull up a menu, it'll make it slower. And then don't turn any of these on. Of course, turn on full screen. Default should be first person. Full V is personal preference. I've seen a lot of YouTubers and like people who are good at the game use like slightly lower FOVs, like maybe around here, but I use max. But that's honestly your choice. Just don't go too low, or if too high is bad for you, then don't do that either. And then here, obviously in-game player names, turn off camera shake. These graphics, if you want to have the absolute highest FPS, turn all of these off. And then turn this off, because if you turn it on, then your FOV will like change a lot and it's annoying. So turn that off. And then render distance, make it to where your game won't lag at all, but you can see as far as possible, as in like the entire Skywars map or whatever. And then these two are also personal choice. And then you go to audio. This is pretty much all personal choice, except maybe turn down most of the stuff in case you need to hear footsteps or something. And yeah, and then for your keybinds, just make either hotkeys for, like, look, just make either hotkeys for every single one of your hotbar slots, or you can do what I do and make it to where, like, for instance, my F is to move this way, and one of my mouse buttons is to move this way. So for me, it's simple, but for you, you can make a hotkey for whichever slots are important to you. So yeah, that's basically, it may seem underwhelming, but that's basically all the settings you need to be good at PvP. So starting off with CPS, obviously you saw in that clip, I get around, you can see right now, like close to 20 CPS. And I will say that to do with CPS and aim specifically, but if you don't have good aim and you don't have a high CPS, focus on high CPS first, because in a usual like Hive PvP game, or in a usual server PvP game that's not Zeka or Divinity or some sweaty server like that, people usually can't hit a full 3 blocks. Like, their aim is not that good either, so like they can't hit a full 3 blocks. They can't, like, if you have CPS and aim, that's best, of course. But if you can only have CPS, I'd rather you have CPS, because think about it, if you're clicking real fast like this, you could just go like this and still land hits. Like, you don't have to aim very well. Just like if your aim is off, slide across the target or whatever, if that makes sense. But yeah, that's basically to do with CPS and aim. It's not that complicated. I mean, I guess things to help with CPS, you can either jitter, which I get around, I think, yeah, around 11 usually, or butterfly. Now, I recommend butterfly solely because when you butterfly, if your mouse can double click, which most like big brand mouses have softwares where you can reduce the debounce time. Debounce time basically means when you press down on a mouse, it'll naturally hit the switch maybe twice depending on how you hit it. If you make it vibrate, which, by the way, if you hit your mouse, on your finger, those segment lines that you have 3 segment lines including the baseline, if you line up the farthest from your palm, those segment lines of your index and middle finger on the very edge of the mouse button, the front edge of the mouse button, then you'll get double clicks, and then you can do stuff like this. So yeah, that's how you get double clicks, and I personally prefer butterfly just because it's easier. It gets more CPS, and you won't have any health problems later on, because I've heard jitter click, it gives you carpal tunnel, like just doing like this. But if you do want to jitter click, then you can either like just tighten up your forearm and stuff, and then like vibrate your forearm to get those clicks, or vibrate your finger. Or what I do whenever I jitter click, I'll take my, I'm sorry I can't show this on video, but I'll explain it as well as I can. I'll take my index finger and put my middle finger on top of my index finger, and then from there I'll vibrate my forearm, because the middle finger on top of the index gives it that support so that it doesn't get worn out. And like that, yeah, I can get, well, I just woke up, so I might not get a consistent 11, but I promise I can. Some people can get 14, 15 CPS jitter clicking, which is insane to me. But yeah, and the last part of this sort of like PvP-ish category would be hit selecting. Now, hit selecting is not what you think it is. A lot of people think it's just like clicking for each hit, like how I do when I do boxing, but that's not the case. It's basically when you want to, I'll show a clip up right now. You want to time your hit at the, like, you want to try and predict when the enemy is going to hit you, and time your hits right after that. Because if you time your hits right after they hit you, then technically they will, okay, like let's say they hit you, you get knocked up, right? Like knocked upwards. And then you hit them right after, they get knocked upwards. And trades are usually in 2s, unless you jump reset, of course. And if you hit them a little bit after, and then the second hit will happen, obviously. And the second hit, same thing will happen. If you really think about it, the enemy will still be in the air, depending on how much later you hit selected. The enemy will still be in the air, like his feet will be off the ground, while your feet are on the ground. And when your feet are off the ground, you take way more knockback than when you're on the ground. So then, even then, then you can just like inch forward, like maybe W tap a bit, just inch forward and like hit him, and then you'll start a combo. So yeah, and also when you're trying to combo somebody, keep your reticle at their head level. So let's say there's somebody here, keep it at their head level, and let's say you get hit, like, ka-cha, you get hit, right? keep it at that same level. So let's say you hit them and their head is up here. Don't move up to their head. Keep it at like, where would that be? Like their chest, and then hit their chest. And then as you're comboing them, if you actually get them in a combo and you're comboing them, hit them at their legs. You'll see in my boxing clips, I always hit them at their legs because that is where you'll have all the reach and they will have none of the reach. That's the best way to keep a combo. Just hit them at the legs constantly. So yeah, and the final part of basically like what you can apply to, well, all PvP, but mainly raw PvP, is jump resetting. Now I will have a clip for this up too, but it is basically when you try to time your hits, like you try to time like jumping, like a spacebar jump with their hits. So let's say you're in a boxing match or you're in the hive or something, and you all do a trade-off, whatever. Now don't time it with the first hit, but try timing your jump reset with the second hit. So like you hit one trade and then the second hit you just hit the spacebar at the same time, and it'll actually, on Bedrock Edition, it'll cancel out your knockback if you do it correctly. Now it is fatal if you do it wrong, because I have done it wrong a lot of times and I always end up getting comboed. Like, because if you do it wrong, if you think about it, you jump up in the air and then you're like so comboable when you're up in the air this high. It's too easy for the opponent. So yeah, now that doesn't mean you shouldn't practice jump resets. Please do, because they are very useful. And I also heard some people say like to press spacebar when you hear that second click, and that has something to do with ping, I think. But if you want to try that too, then please do so. So yeah, that is basically it for the raw PvP section. Now let's move on to blocking. Alright, y'all, now on to blocking. Using blocks in PvP. Wow, Kariz, why would you use blocks in PvP? Just use a sword. Whoa, it's actually crazy because like if you use blocks, like let's say you're running up on somebody, if you place blocks in front of them to cancel out their sprinting momentum, you'll actually end up like, there's a good chance to land the first hit for you and to actually get them in a combo if you keep your distance. And also, somewhat when they have momentum, they're more likely to actually like reach you. Like if you're the one sprinting forward and they're just standing still, you're more likely to hit them. I honestly do not know why, but trust me, it's actually a thing in the game and it works. So yeah, that's basically, I mean, that is kind of self-explanatory. But yeah, and then also of course blocks can be used for catching up to anybody who is running, and also to run yourself. Because when you stack up and you have like elevated ground, let's say you got high ground like this, when you jump you'll end up going farther than if they were just like, see, when you jump, because when you jump you have more airtime from this height, and the jumping sprint momentum, if you know about Minecraft, it's actually the fastest, like sprint jumping is the fastest way to travel, right? It's because of that jump momentum. So if you have that jump momentum, like from such a high point, as, I mean, you might take some fall damage from a 3 stack, but from like a 2 stack, it's still viable. And if you do that, and if you do that and you keep like stacking along the way like that, you'll actually get along faster. Like if you, let's say you're stacking, and you get right next to them, like here, then you can just jump and ka-cha, you know? But like, if you also need to run, this will help you get away faster because it's the same principle. If you're stacking, you'll cover more distance with that sprint momentum more easily, you know? So yeah, I don't know. There's not much to say about it. That's basically what you can do. I mean, obviously bridging is there, but mostly I know how to bridge. If you don't know how to bridge, check out my tutorial on how to bridge. It'll be somewhere in my channel. I honestly don't know. But yeah, on to the next thing. Now the next part, using projectiles in this game. It's really good. You can use projectiles to knock people off bridges while they're running, as y'all have seen me do a lot, and if you're new to the channel, then check out my other videos to see that. But they're really good, especially on the high, for starting combos. Because if you think about it, it sort of acts as a block, but with knockback, if that makes sense. Like let's say someone's running up on me and I pull out some snowballs. Like I pull out some snowballs and hit them with it right before they're about to hit me. One, it cancels their momentum. Like I just talked about with the blocks, with blocking off momentum. It cancels momentum and it knocks them back. And on the hive specifically, arrows and arrows and snowballs deal as much knockback as a normal hit. And when you hit with snowballs, there's no hit cooldown after. So you can hit with snowballs and instantly hit them with the swords, and then they'll be like up in the air. That's what makes it so easy to combo with projectiles and stuff like that. It's solely the principle that it gets them in the air. It's like how I said earlier, how if you fail a jump reset, you're up in the air and then you get destroyed because it's much easier combo. It's the same principle. So if you know how to use it, basically hit them with the snowball and then hit them like with your sword in their chest. And honestly, like, I know you see a lot of pros, like, I don't know. I used to, when I was like not as good at the game, I would have this issue where I couldn't switch fast enough to get to my snowball and then right back to my sword and hit him with the sword for the damage. And honestly, if you need to just keep on the snowball slot, hit him with the snowball and then hit him with the snowball hand to get the, oh my god, to get them started in a combo, that's honestly fine too, and then switch to your sword because you have them in a combo and they're getting damaged when you're not getting damaged at all. But yeah, you can use either a bow or snowballs to start a combo with projectiles. It makes it a lot easier. Bow's a bit harder though because you have to cock it back. Is that what it's called? Cock it back? I think so. Yeah, or pull the string back. I don't know, something like that. But yeah, there's not much more to say about it. Just and then apply the same combo aim principles, like keep it at their chest and then their feet, etc, etc. And yeah, on to the next thing. All right, y'all, and I think finally, I might be wrong, but finally, resource packs. Now this will be a very short section, honestly, because there's not much to say about it. Like, okay, you can use those FPS boosting texture packs, like they claim to boost FPS. They don't really increase FPS, not by, I mean, they technically do, but not by much. I'm telling you right now, not by much. It will not improve your game that much, and most of them are ugly anyway. So yeah, but there is one resource that if you don't want to use any PvP texture pack ever, or if your PvP texture does not have this resource within it, it is necessary. And I'll show you what it is in a second. And it is this right here, the low fire resource pack. I will leave a link in the description to this pack. It's just a resource where the fire will be low to the floor, and also when you get caught on fire, the fire will be very low on your screen. Now this is necessary because if you do not have a low fire resource, like most PvP packs have a low fire resource by default, but like for instance Blueberry Fault 16X doesn't. But if you don't have a low fire resource pack, you need it, because if you get caught on fire from, like, let's say the fire sword, or if somebody for whatever reason uses the spell of, what's it called, spell of fire trail, like in Skywars, you kind of need to be able to see just in case you get caught on fire, right? So that's the only thing. I mean, everything else in the PvP texture pack is kind of, I mean, I guess you could argue, oh, short swords are better because more visibility. Not really. It's honestly not that big of a deal. The only big deal for resource packs is this right here. Alright, y'all? Alright, y'all. That's going to cap it off for the video. Wow, that took me a long time to edit. Like 2 days worth of editing, basically. I even had to skip the gym today. I go to the gym 6 days a week. Saturday's my rest day. I had to skip the gym today, and it's Thursday. Just for this video, y'all. So hope y'all really enjoyed that, even though I'm aware it wasn't too good, but I put all my efforts, so yikes. But anyway, hope you enjoyed the video, y'all. Be sure to like and subscribe. Let me know down below what videos I should do next. Let me know if this helped you at all, if I should do, if y'all want me to go more in depth on a specific factor that was covered in this video, like more in depth on how to perform such things. And yeah, hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye bye.